Welcome to Kath and Mikey Make a Podcast, Episode 7. We lied to you. We're not going to do Soul, okay?
We're just going to do Wandavision again.
Sometimes life gets in the way, and to be honest, we're more excited to talk about Wandavision.
Than anything else.
Especially this last episode, which...
That's all we think about.
It was really good.
Crazy good.
I think about other things.
Oh.
Sometimes. I'm a man of science.
Okay. Okay. Now I feel bad.
Did I drink enough water today? Did I pee out the water that I drank? These are questions for science.
Okay. I'd rather you stick with WandaVision for now, though.
I do think... You see, I'm in nursing school. I think about intake and output. Those are nursing terms. You probably wouldn't understand.
Anyway, today we're talking about WandaVision.
Okay, yeah.
Is there any intake and output on that? What's your intake and output?
The intake is you shut up, and the output is I am glad. How about that? In this episode, this is our last episode. Things have gotten crazily aggressive.
Off the rails.
Yeah.
Off the rails, off script.
Way off scripts.
Wait, like,
this is scripted.
We don't even have a script, but you're off script.
We get paid for this.
Do we?
I get paid for this.
Oh, I wasn't. Wow.
Yeah.
Right there, inequality.
Well,
just another example of inequality, people.
If you put in equal work, then maybe you'll get equal pay.
That's interesting. I'm gonna jot that down for later.
So, what are your notes about the show say that I didn't take any notes?
Oh,
what do your
notes
say?
My notes say something about Mikey. No, I can't find it. Never mind.
Really? That was the best you have up there?
That's all I have.
No, I'm talking about the show WandaVision, which is our topic for today. WandaVision Episode 4.
I'm sure that a lot of people have already, clicked unsubscribe. I feel like they just click subscribe just to
people
unsubscribe.
Subscribed, including our two actual YouTube accounts. Later, I'm going to listen to this and...
I mean, they subscribe just to have the joy of unsubscribing.
Oh, right.
Yeah. We're going to see, a spike of people subscribing, 1,000.
Whoa. 1,000?
And then they unsubscribe. No, yeah. I'm kidding. I don't think that many people listen to this.
Yeah, no, it's got to be more.
Yeah, it's just a hate watch. They just will watch or listen, listen to us. That's okay. I mean, I would love to get hate mail.
Oh my God.
It's at least one type of mail.
At this point,
I'll get anything.
Yeah, any type of mail. Send me nudes.
No.
Men.
Only men mail nudes. But only send those to Mikey. I don't want to see those.
Yeah, well, send it to the Couch Criminals private message box, and Catherine is the one who reads the messages. But she'll relay them to me, and I will promptly ignore them.
Really? I thought you would just, give them some kind of ranking score. This is not guilty. This one goes to jail. Weren't you talking about something like that? Oh, you were talking about movies.
I usually talk about that, yeah.
Oh.
Today I'm honestly not in the mood. I feel like I'm being attacked because there's accurate and then there's just being a sniper assassin.
Which one am I?
What do you think? Why would I bring up the second one?
I don't know. I just thought you were exaggerating to make me look better, but now I see your true colors.
I'm starting to think you don't have any notes because it's taking so long.
I do. And I'm going to start now.
Right now.
Episode 4, WandaVision. It's called We Interrupt This Program, which is very on the nose, but I like it. This one was also directed by Matt Shackman, who has been directing all the other episodes. And it was written by, this time it was two co-writers. One of them is Babak Farjani, and the other one is Megan McDonnell, who also wrote the past episode, episode 3, and I believe she's she wrote the upcoming movie Captain Marvel 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which is interesting given that here we have
Monica Rambeau.
Monica Rambeau, who...
Yeah, no chance she's not in that movie, right?
Hope she is.
Definitely.
Probably. Definitely, maybe. So we start this episode with Captain Monica Rambeau. We've seen her before. We come to learn that she's actually Geraldine, who was just cast out in the last episode from Wanda's paradise or idyllic version of Westview. What we see in this first scenes is she's returning to life from the blip. So it seems that she disappeared in the blip and now she's coming back 5 years later. And the first thing she learns is that her mom, Maria Rambeau, which we already know from Captain Marvel, she has died from cancer. Maria Rambeau, she was one, if not the one, founder of S.W.O.R.D., and Monica is also a S.W.O.R.D. agent. She goes back to work, and the first thing that they do is they've grounded her. I guess she used to have more aerial missions. And due to a protocol that her own mom created, she's been grounded only terrestrial missions, and she's been assigned.
In the case of her return.
Yeah.
I wonder what the method behind that was, the purpose
of that protocol.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe to keep an eye on those people. You don't really know where they like. The blip is basically unknown by like. It's not that it's unknown. I mean that I would imagine that they would know it was because of Thanos.
After the snap, the Avengers gave a really awkward press conference.
Mm-hmm.
You guys,
this happened.
There was this purple Bruce Willis alien, and we tried to beat him, but he got all the stones. The Infinity Stones. There are 6 of them.
We lost vision.
Okay, sit down, guys. This is gonna be a while. This is gonna take at least 40 hours to tell you.
Or 3 hours. That's how long the movie is.
No, that's how long it takes to be resolved. 40 hours is the entire MCU leading up to then.
Oh, God.
And that's the abridged version.
So they probably
Somebody
don't know how...
raises their hand and they're like, did we have to know the part with Ant-Man, that guy?
Oh, my God. You really don't like that movie? Oh, those movies.
It's called World Building. It's Captain America getting mad.
But I imagine that it's because they don't really know how they're going to come back. You know, there's so many possibilities. I don't think they have the science honed down on that one of people disappearing because someone snaps some fingers. It just
had to be a gut feeling that her mom thought she was going to come back.
Yeah, she was going to come back, but since they don't know if they'll come weaker or they're, they have no knowledge or, like amnesia.
Maybe
they don't know.
It was just general worry, too.
Exactly.
Just I don't want you on any dangerous space missions when you come back.
Exactly. But they send her to work with this FBI agent. His name is Jimmy Woo.
From Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Oh, right.
He was one of the best parts of that movie because his comedic timing is so good.
Yeah, he's pretty great, that actor.
Yeah.
Randall Park,
yeah. Jim Halpert.
right.
Yeah.
He's pretty good, I think. And anyway, they're working on a missing persons case in Westview, New Jersey. And it's what they come to find out there is pretty interesting. It seems that people around the town have selective amnesia. Mm-hmm. They don't remember it as Westview. They'll remember it as Eastview. And there is one particular missing person that they're trying to find. They don't say their identity.
He said witness protection, right?
Yeah, it's from the witness protection program.
That's so odd.
Yeah, that's how the FBI gets into these things, I guess. Mm-hmm. And they, as part of the witness protection program, he's asked people. No one knows who he is, who this person is. We don't know who the person is either. But no one remembers him. Like, no one remembers the person, not even close family. No one. So another bit of selective amnesia. And I think Monica even, she's like trying to think of why they're not affected by the fact that Westview exists, like doesn't exist.
Yeah, and she puts forward a theory that it might be anybody who has connections to
Yeah, like
people
a
in the
personal
town.
connection.
Yeah.
Or like a radius.
Because that would cause issues for whoever is, causing this disturbance. If they want it to be an isolated bubble, you can't constantly have people trying to come in and see their family because it's going to draw way too much attention.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it makes sense. You kind of isolate it from people that really know the town or know it exists.
Mm-hmm.
Because in the end, it's just a small town in New Jersey.
Yeah.
It's not like it's not like a whole city.
Yeah.
As in, like, it's not New York City.
It's a small suburban town.
Yeah. And they discover that there's like a static field around the town, and Monica, in trying to like see what it's about, she gets pulled in, and we know what happens after that. She becomes Geraldine. What we're seeing in this episode is basically what's happening outside throughout the 3 episodes we've already seen.
They contextualize what we've seen in the universe that we already know from all these past movies. It felt like the most Marvel-y of the episodes so far, but also happened to have the creepiest moment of all the episodes.
Yeah, and we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
What we're seeing is that they're basically they bring all this like full clown car of scientists.
That was great. Yeah, Darcy's back.
Yeah, Darcy's back. One of them is Darcy Lewis, which we've seen already in the Thor movies, or at least the first 2 Thor movies.
Yeah, first 2. And hearing her talk made me realize how much I actually missed her.
Yeah, I like the actress. I think she's funny.
She's funny, yeah.
And I like the character. Like, it brought some joy into those first 2 Thor movies.
Yeah, she was fun. I love that first joke where, the Boy Scout finally tells her, "Oh, I'm a chemical engineer." And
no
she's
one
like,
cares.
Yeah.
Well, they bring all these scientists, among them Lewis, to study the phenomena, and she's an astrophysicist. She starts studying, like, reading the different wavelengths and radiation it's emitting. She finds out that it's emitting cosmic microwave background radiation, or CMBR, which they explain as this type of radiation that it's being emitted since...
Dates back to the Big Bang, which is the same way they explained Infinity Stones, that, they came out of the Big Bang. I think it was something like that, or Wong was like, before the Big Bang.
Yeah, something like that.
How do you know this, bitch? Were you around before the Big Bang? There has always been Wong.
Yeah. She begins studying it and discovers, like, within this wave, like radiation, she discovers a broadcast signal, which ends up being the sitcom WandaVision that we've been watching these first 3 episodes. And they use like a vintage TV. They call it vintage, but back in the 90s, that was called just a TV.
And it was able to pick up the signal that Wanda's television show was emitting.
Yeah, from the broadcast. And they start kind of realizing what's happening, but not really. They just know there's 2 Avengers in a sitcom for no reason.
Yeah, and she points out that he's dead, right? When talking about Vision, and not snapped away, but he's dead.
Right. They're identifying the different characters from the different characters, quote unquote, or the people that have been cast in the show, and they've been trying to identify it through face recognition, that they're actual real people in this town. They're actually playing characters in the show. They see Geraldine, who's actually Monica. It's not quite clear if she's just disguising herself as Monica, or if she didn't know and then came to, woke up a bit and realized that, I'm in a mission here. I should find out as much as possible. I think it's
It seemed like she was confused. She had the same glamour everybody else on the town, or the same like mojo was done to her head. I think she forgot, and because they were saying they weren't sure. One of them says, "What is she in deep cover?" And I think it's Darcy that says, "Yeah, but cover from what? And like, what's the threat of not being in cover?" You know, they're trying to figure out why would she.
Exactly. So I think it's that second one that she got in, had the whole glamour done to her, and then kind of like snap out of it at some point.
Yeah, and notice.
Well, she really snapped out of it in the end when she starts talking about Ultron. Probably like realized
Wanda accidentally brought her out of it by mentioning.
I think so, by mentioning Quicksilver.
Yeah, but notice that when they are identifying the people who have been transformed by the field into these cast members of the fake show, there's an omission of Dottie and Agnes. Yeah,
I was gonna mention that. But to wrap up the summary, they attempt to contact Wanda through the radio, Darcy and Jimmy, which ends up working. They just don't realize it because it's been censored on the sitcom. They can't see it like we do, where we see the parts that are actually being censored. They try to contact her, and that's what happens with that scene with Dottie and Wanda. Who she's hearing on the radio is actually Jimmy trying to contact her. Then all the hijinks keep happening. And then we get to the point where Monica is helping Wanda give birth, and once Monica mentions Ultron, she gets snapped out of it. Wanda basically just casts her out, and we see how Monica ends up outside, and we have there like a little extra scene from what we hadn't seen in episode 3 of them interacting and like the actual kicking out through walls of Monica. And towards the end, we see that Wanda is a bit like out of sorts because of all of this, and then we see the most disturbing scene I've seen in all of Marvel.
All of Marvel.
Which is...
There's never been anything so scary.
No, oh my god. I got goosebumps every time I see it. I get goosebumps, like actual chills. And it's basically a dead Vision with like a hole in his head. And
it feels both terrifying and really tragic.
Yeah.
And part of the tragedy comes from him in that moment being worried about Wanda. He has no idea that there's anything wrong with him. And as menacing as she comes off when she kicks out Monica, you know, her voice is trembling. She's pissed, really. She throws her through walls. As scary as she's being, she just misses him, and she's really sad.
Yeah. It's both.
Yeah. So it's so dark and also really exciting that they took it there. Yeah.
Yeah. We're going into a new... What are they calling it? Like a new golden age of Marvel cinema and TV.
Of Marvel television. Well, yeah.
We're a long way from whatever. Well, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. definitely.
And we're an even longer way from Iron Fist.
Oh God, Jesus! Why must you bring that up?
I don't know. I had to watch it. Nobody made me.
No, yeah, me too. I watched it. It was my choice.
Isn't that amazing that we just did that?
I don't regret many things I've done in life, but Iron Fist is one of them.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Real bad.
Not even me watching it, just like that it was created at all.
But the side
and
characters...
that wasn't my choice. I regret a choice that I didn't make.
The ninja lady and Ward... his brother, are excellent in that show.
The ninja lady.
His girlfriend in season 2.
Oh.
She was awesome. I can't remember her name.
Yeah.
She was one of the daughters of the dragon.
Yes. She's the best thing. Connie?
I don't know.
I want
She had an awesome fight scene too.
Yeah, she was the best at choreography.
When she got an Iron Fist, I was like, yes.
Oh, yes.
Can this please just be about her?
Yeah. I would have seen a third season of just her.
Yeah.
No Danny Rand.
And Ward, like, his acting is... you saw him in Ozark season 3.
Oh,
He's an incredible actor.
Oh.
But there's this one line he delivered, my dad and me were laughing so much, where... I forget what her name is, but she was this villain with multiple personalities.
Oh, yes.
And he was like, can I go? And she was like, do you want me to break your arm or something like that?
Oh.
And he looks at her and he goes, no, I don't. Nobody wants that.
He is, yeah, Tom Pelfrey, that's his name, the actor's name. And the other character is Colleen Wing.
Colleen Wing.
Colleen. See, it was Connie. I was close.
She's just really good at the fight choreography. You can tell it's her, and she's got great hair.
Oh, yeah.
That's all you need.
I think so. Jessica Henwick, she's pretty cool, I think. At least in that's the actress. Jessica Henwick.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, she's cool.
Yeah.
And anyways, enough about Iron Fist.
Yeah, this isn't
We're
about...
in a new golden age of Marvel television. Didn't you hear? We start the episode on a cold open with Monica unblipping, like you mentioned that up top, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I didn't even know what that was until you said it. You know, I thought...
Really?
Yeah, I thought it was like in her mind or something, like her mind being reconstructed after being pushed out of...
Oh, no.
I thought it was just like a visual interpretation of that, but when you said it, I was like, oh, they're doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And you see everybody panicked. Like in Spider-Man Far From Home, they tackled it in a comedic way, which really worked for that movie, but
yeah,
to see...
the chaos.
Yeah, the chaos of it.
Because we've seen other sides. We've seen Spider-Man side, which is like... you see little kids that are now 5 years older, and now they're like actually your upperclassmen.
Yeah.
And we've also seen like the more tragic side, which is like was it Endgame?
Yeah.
Where we see like even Captain America in a
well, yeah, but that
support group and
before everyone came back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've seen the before, we've seen the after, but we haven't seen the very chaotic after.
Yeah.
Which is this. It's like exactly at the moment that, and you could only get that from the perspective of someone coming back. I feel.
She went in her sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Which is crazy. She did not even realize that it happened to her. She just went to sleep, woke up, and everything was madness.
Mm-hmm. 5 years later.
5 years later, her mom's dead.
Longest nap
who had
ever.
recovered from cancer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I kind of like that beginning.
Yeah, it was good. Also, the guy's line, like, he's ignoring what she's saying, and he's like, do you have a phone? I need to call my wife. Like,
yeah.
That's perfect. That's exactly how people would be.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if I have to say anything more than I thought that was just perfect. That was like a perfect beginning for... Or like not a perfect beginning for this episode, I don't want to say it like that, but the introduction of the character, like full introduction of the character in real world Marvel.
Yes.
Rather than just seeing her as a cast member in the sitcom.
What a way to bring people in who were craving that Marvel continuity stuff and were tired of the sitcom that I was enjoying and you were enjoying, but, not everybody felt the same.
Yeah.
But every time they ground it like that, it reminds me of Iron Man and Winter Soldier and the best parts of this universe. And it feels like, oh yeah, this is something that could happen in one of those movies. Like, it just feels right.
Yeah. It doesn't remind you of Ant-Man?
It did not remind me of Ant-Man, no.
Really?
No, especially not Ant-Man and the Wasp. Thank you for asking.
No, I just wanted to know.
Yeah.
Since you're always so enthusiastic about that.
Well, I love it.
Yeah.
So.
I knew that.
Say no more.
I wrote down what Agent Wu said about the force field. Like the town, he's like, no, he doesn't know it's a force field yet, but he's talking about the town. It's like, oh, why haven't you gone in? And he's like, well, because he doesn't want me to.
Yeah.
And I was like,
can't you feel it?
Ooh. You feel it too, right?
I like that they played him a little more seriously.
Than the comic relief in Ant-Man.
Yeah. Yeah, he still has that in him. Like, he has a great joke in this episode, but he pulls off serious really well too. So I'm glad they're utilizing him like that. He has a couple of good
jokes. I think that someone must really be missing you in Quantico. No, softball season is over. Or
the chip one was my favorite.
The chip one was good. Yeah, that's the other one.
The way he reacted was just perfect. Like, he didn't stop.
Little Jimmy Woo, like, oh, Chip. Oh.
He didn't stop to acknowledge his embarrassment. He was just like, oh, yeah, sure.
So, yeah, we also come to, like, learn some of the things we've been seeing that are weird inside. I already mentioned the radio, someone talking through the radio.
Yeah.
Or, like, the ending of episode 1. We see, like, that ending. It's actually Darcy taking notes from her watching the sitcom. And, but also, like, the helicopter that Wanda finds. Yeah. Which actually, it's a toy helicopter, but it's actually a drone. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure if it's actually... I
wonder if it's undercover, or their drones really just look like little toys.
Well, in the first one that they sent, which is Monica's drone, it actually looks like a helicopter. It's like a toy helicopter that she uses, but it's a surveillance drone.
Yeah, then they send in another one later. You're right.
Send in,
that's
like
more,
a
more normal drone.
Yeah, the kind of like drones with the
4 propellers. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, but that first one looks like I think it's kind of giving you a hint of like, remember that helicopter? Mm-hmm. It's actually this.
Yeah, big.
It's actually classified.
It's nice to watch these characters like look at the WandaVision show and see that, you know, we're not actually lost because they know just as much as we do. Mm-hmm. You know, you're watching it like you're supposed to watch it.
Exactly. With the difference that we get to see the parts that have been edited. We saw the interaction with Dottie, and we also saw the interaction with Monica, which we come to know that it's actually being censored.
Yeah.
Which I have a question about that. Who's censoring it? Is it Wanda herself?
I'm not sure.
Or is it someone else?
I mean, when Monica comes out, she says it's Wanda. It's all Wanda.
Yes.
But I don't think she knows that. She would think that because Wanda clearly showed that she's aware of the real world and she's aware that this is not real and that Monica is an intruder on this big illusion.
Exactly.
And so that's all Monica really knows.
Yeah.
But later on, she says to Vision, we can't leave here. And that makes me wonder, do they have to stay there for a reason? Is there something special about that location? Or is it just because she's gone through the trouble of setting all this up?
It could be interpreted as, if we go to the outside world, you'll be dead.
Yeah.
So she doesn't want to leave. She can't leave because it means that he dies.
That's what I initially thought, and you're probably right.
It could be, but it also could be something else. Yeah, like you said.
Yeah, I think, you know, everybody's talking about the possibility of Mephisto. You've talked about it because you've been reading some Wanda and Vision comics, right?
Yeah, I've been doing my homework.
So there's a possibility that she was dipping into the magics and made a deal with Mephisto because how would she know to do all this? I mean, there are 5 more episodes left. I'm sure we're going to see that moment where she decides to go to Westview, but I'm super curious.
So curious. And I've also told you about how the twins are also in the comics. That's a storyline. How actually the twins are like the souls of a demon, not Mephisto. I think it's another demon. I always forget his name, like Master Pandemonium or something like that, who is connected to Mephisto in a way. Yeah. Like the souls of that demon have been split into these 2 children, so they're not real. I'm not sure it's she ends up doing that or that ends up happening because Vision technically can't have kids with her. but yeah, there's also that. So there's a lot of I hope there's more magic to come. A lot of that chaos magic. Sorry.
What if they needed the energy of the townspeople in order to conceive? Because it was very cult-like when they were gathered at Dottie's for the children.
For the children. Beekeeper theory came through.
It did.
Yeah. Woo. Yeah, it's actually a guy in a hazmat suit. Mm-hmm. So it does seem that same with the helicopter. I actually thought it was a real helicopter, but it turns out it's just a drone.
But did you notice that these transformations are real?
They as in they come back real into the real world.
Yeah, the way that they're physically shifted, like the rope turning into a jump rope.
It comes back as a jump rope.
Monica having her 70s clothing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that. These are physical things that are happening to these people.
Yeah, they're very real.
Yeah. Which means it's a physical thing that's happening to Vision.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is really Vision.
Oh, boy.
But he can't leave this area or he will die.
Ooh.
And that's,
Scary. I keep thinking about that image.
Anything were to make it worth it for Wanda, it would be that Vision is really alive if you're here.
Mm-hmm.
Because if she's making up everything he's doing, I think she'd lose interest. Like, it'd just be too sad.
Oh, I see.
But when she has the comfort of, at least it's really him.
Yeah. That's so sad.
It's really sad.
This is, yeah, there's always in this show, like, the undercurrent of, this all looks so happy, but there's also, like, before we had the weird undercurrent of, this is actually the Twilight Zone. But now it's like, oh, this is actually a very depressing story.
Yeah.
But then again, we don't know enough.
No. But it seems to be a pretty straightforward metaphor for denial.
Oh, definitely. She's in denial. Yeah. I'm sure of that. That much she is. And
I cracked the code, everybody.
Wanda's in denial. I like that Darcy Lewis is invested in the sitcom as much as we are.
Yeah, it's great.
He's like, what? I'm invested.
I like when they kiss and she goes, oh.
I also took the time to write down what Jimmy Woo was writing on the board.
Oh, great.
He writes down what we don't know. And it's why hexagonal shape, because they find that the force field has a hexagonal shape.
And the ending to the credits.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And why sitcoms, which is also... Basically, these are all questions that we're asking
all of
ourselves.
Our questions, yeah.
Which goes into what you said, that they have the same intel we have.
Mm-hmm. And the fact that they're asking the same questions that we are means that the show is aware that we have those questions. Mm-hmm. Meaning that hopefully they get addressed.
Hopefully. Also, same time and space. He writes that down. And is Vision alive? I hope this is just like a checklist from the writers. And they're like, we will address these, don't worry. Or maybe they're just like, haha, we'll never talk about these ever again.
Yeah. Some of the dialogue does kind of feel like the writers bouncing off each other. And they're like, yeah, but what about this? What about this inconsistency? What about people who are related to people in the town? And they just have the characters say whatever they come up with. But it's still interesting to watch.
Uh-huh. We already talked about how we don't know who Agnes is or who Dottie is.
Yep.
I don't know if because it's not that important, at least in Dottie's.
There's a preview for episode 5, and it's brought up. It's brought up that, like, we don't know who Agnes is.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, okay. I thought I was just overthinking this.
I think next episode is a Halloween one.
Is that
they have
the
costumes,
one?
yeah.
Oh, I'm excited.
She looks really cool.
I know.
Even in that cheap costume.
Oh, I love that cheap costume.
Yeah, me too.
I like his.
Yeah.
Too. Yeah, that's the one Agnes is dressed up as a witch.
Mm-hmm.
Ha.
And also we saw from the first trailer when Vision starts to find out that something's really wrong. Mm-hmm. Because Agnes she says, "Am I dead?"
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Are you one of the Avengers? Something like that.
Yeah, that was in the newer one.
Oh.
But in the first one, she was like, "Am I dead?" And he's like, "No, why would you think that? Because you
And she
are."
starts... Oh. Yeah, and then she starts laughing.
And then she
like-
starts laughing.
Yeah, I can't wait for that one. I also wanted to bring up that they haven't identified who the people in the commercials are either.
They didn't. They completely skimmed over the commercials.
Mm-hmm.
You see it come up on the screen, but they don't address it.
Yeah.
Maybe later.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Maybe that's just something for us.
I don't know if you have any other points you wanted to bring out from this episode.
I mean, the main takeaway for me was that money shot of Vision.
Oof.
I mean, it was like, I feel like this is what I'm going to remember from this show, is that moment that you and I gasped seeing him on screen. Like, the way they did it was great too, because he came in and he was blurred out in the background, and
yeah.
I could looking at him, I was like, "Oh my god, is he gray?" Like, I was thinking that.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they revealed him, even though I suspected it, I was not ready. How pale and like a corpse he was. And again, like I mentioned, how tragic it is that he doesn't understand.
Yeah, I think, like we've seen that, we kind of know that she's in full control of this reality, like Wanda.
Yeah.
But whether the mind that's in control, like whether it's fractured or not, or how sane it is, I think that's a whole different story. Like she's in control clearly, but I think it might be a product of a very fractured, wounded mind.
Definitely wounded. And, you know, these powers were forced into her in a way. How does she take that? Like, she was added to the Avengers almost immediately. But has she been stable this whole time? You know, like, they've been putting her through traumatic experience after traumatic experience.
Mm-hmm.
And
With
there's
the
never a moment where
yeah.
somebody stops and is like, "Hey, Wanda, are you okay?"
Mm-hmm.
Her and Hawkeye share a scene, but that's it. You know, like, she does not have support.
Not really. And the only support that she had died tragically and horribly in front of her.
She's part of this group of people that helped save the world more than once. Mm-hmm. And I could see somebody like that being like, "Why does everything bad have to happen to me if I do so many good things? Why can't I just have this?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remembered something from the Vision. The Tom King
that you don't
one.
want to spoil for me.
That I don't want to spoil
I
for
will
you.
read it. I will read it.
But it's a character that says something like that. Like, "I've saved the world 37 times. Like, why can't I have this one thing I want?"
Wow.
Yeah.
But no, I have nothing else to say except I really liked this episode.
Yeah, so far this show hasn't let me down.
No.
And if anything, it like caresses me and like lulls me to sleep. Even when it shows me horrible content. Like, not horrible, horrendous, as in something that shocks the senses. Even then, I'm okay with it.
Yeah. I'm really excited to see where they take it. Again. I think I ended last episode by saying that, but that's just, I'm really excited.
Yeah, it's so far so good. Mm-hmm. Really. Like, I just want more. How many more episodes? 9 episodes, right?
Yeah, so 5 more.
5 more. Nom nom. Yes.
No, amazing.
Consume all of it.
Yeah, but that's it. Thank you for listening. Next time, maybe we'll do Soul, but we spent a long time talking about this, so we might just do WandaVision.
Again.
Until the end.
Yeah, we don't care.
Yeah, not divide it up, and then afterwards we'll get back to movies. Although I think there's another Marvel show like right after it ends.
Oh. Isn't it
Is it
Falcon
Falcon?
and Winter Soldier. Yeah, Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah,
Probably.
I think it might be.
We'll decide. We'll circle back to this.
on that one.
I'll watch it for
sure.
purely for my enjoyment.
Yeah. We'll decide what to do at that time.
But there's Loki, which I probably will want to talk more about.
I definitely.
Yes.
Yeah. You and I are both more excited about that.
Yeah. Then Falcon.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Sidekicks the series. It's probably gonna be good.
Yeah.
I heard Omega Red might be in it. Cool. Mutant stuff.
Cool.
I'll watch it.
Cool. Cool.
Anyways.
Anyways.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks for listening, guys. Bye.
Bye.